Nice truck you got there.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel, y'all. So a few things that I like to do when I'm doing my pre-trip. I like to keep my little spray bottle, wipe my truck down at the same time if I can find some stuff. So I always try to look for any type of leaks. I look at all of my hoses, all of my coolant hoses. I check my oil, I check my shocks. I try to check all of my grease points just to make sure I got some type of grease in between all of my grease points. Check my turbo, make sure my drain, my feed tubes, none of them, my feed lines are, none of them are leaking. Check my thermostat, make sure everything is good. Check all of my belts, make sure I don't have no cuts, anything like that. Make sure they're all tight. Try to check all my boots, make sure all of those are tight, make sure I have no cuts or no holes in them. Check my coolant, make sure my coolant is good. Sometimes you can release some pressure out of there too. My washer fluid. I also check my exhaust too, just to make sure it's still clamped on the elbow. And also check my oil filters just to make sure I'm not leaking from the actual housing down there. And I also check my exhaust manifold just to make sure all my bolts are still intact, make sure I'm not losing any bolts. Check my bag, make sure my bag is good, make sure I don't have any rips in it. Also check my tires, make sure they are, you know, wearing evenly. Sometimes you can kind of see if you got, you know, kingpin problems or front end problems, or you may need an alignment. Check my front cover too, just to make sure we're not leaking within the front cover. I do all of that on this side. And just make sure you just check all your hoses, y'all. Make sure you don't have any leaks. I just want to make sure my oil is between add and full. If y'all can see that, it's actually between add and full. It's a little bit over the half mark between add and full, so that's good. We haven't really lost much oil. I usually do it twice just to get an accurate reading. I haven't started my truck, anything like that, so all the oil is at the bottom of the oil pan, so we're actually getting an accurate reading. So as y'all can see, so we're good on the oil, and I got about another 4,000 miles on my oil. So with the older engines, if you lose about a gallon of oil between oil changes, is pretty much average. You know, like I told y'all before I got my oil analysis, everything was good. So that's how I check everything on this side, y'all. I got power steering. Make sure my power steering is good, which is good. Between add and full is good. You don't have to fill it all the way up. Make sure I don't have any leaks. My power steering pump gasket was leaking before we got that changed out. And actually, y'all see the seal is actually good. We got some seal glide on there, so the gasket is doing pretty good now. I haven't had any problems. Just make sure you got some type of grease in between each grease point, you know. So I just check over everything, make sure I don't have anything leaking. I always check down at my ECM just to make sure, you know, I don't have any type of fluids or oil or fuel going down to my wires and my, you know, my injector harness or anything like that, because you don't want to get fluids in your ECM. It'll mess your ECM up and you have to repair it, get a new one. So I definitely do it with mine. This is an older engine. It's harder to find ECMs and stuff like that. So put this gasket back up. So that'll pretty much wrap up everything. Everything looks good, decent. I don't see anything out of order or out of place. So yeah, that'll wrap up the pre-trip on this side. Make sure you check your tire, make sure it's evenly wear. You know, you don't have any front end problems. Fuel tank, I just make sure I don't leak any fuel, make sure I don't see any type of leakage under the truck, front and back. And now me, I pretty much do get up under the truck sometimes just to check everything, check all my grease points, you know. Make sure your airlines is in there pretty secure. You can sometimes check your bags, make sure, you know, they're inflated, make sure they're not leaking. You would actually hear that leak. Make sure my drive line is good, make sure I got some type of grease on my drive line. So check my tires, make sure they're even wear. You know, it's an even wear on them, which is pretty much is. That lets me know that my drive line is doing pretty good, and I don't have any problems with shocks, you know, anything like that. So, and all the other components that drive the truck, I don't have any type of problems with. Now I did get an alignment on the trailer, so I do like to come up under here and just, you know, make sure I don't see any type of cross members out of whack. You know, you could pretty much tell when a cross member is out of whack. Now I don't go through and just, you know, grab every cross member, but I do get up under here just to see, and just to see if everything is intact, make sure everything is good, make sure all my hoses is good, make sure you got your bungee, and make sure your bags is good. And then I will actually go in the truck, push my trailer brake in just to make sure I don't have any leaks back here, and come back here and check. So my tires are, you know, wearing pretty evenly. I changed this tire probably about 2 months ago. Found a nail on the sidewall. Ain't nothing you can really do about that. You gotta actually change it. Now I got one tire that was, you know, pretty bad with the alignment. It's not bad, but you can tell it was wearing a little bit different. You know, this is wearing pretty good. This is wearing pretty good. But as you can see, you see this? That lets you know you have a problem somewhere within your alignment. You know, it can be pretty much anything. It can be bags, it can be shocks. You know, a blown out bag can literally do this within 300-400 miles. So it's actually still a good tire, still got good wear. But if I would have kept, you know, the alignment that I had, I probably would have had to change this out. But I was able to get an alignment and able to keep this tire, so it'll do me pretty good. I'll probably change it down the road. So, but everything else looks good. So yep, everything else looks good. Check my tires over here too also. And also with this tire, I had when I had to get my alignment done, as you can see, had some uneven wear. Luckily I didn't do it too bad, and the tire is still good. So they're you know, they're wearing all pretty evenly, so tires is good. Get you a tire thumper. It's pretty easier to use a tire thumper. So about 13.9. I haven't got 14 yet. It's about 13.9, 13.8, which is pretty good. So she looked good. Close the hood up. And then wipe her down a little bit before we go, just to keep that shine that we got. And start the reefer up, put her at -5, and make sure the reefer is clean on the backside. Make sure we don't have to get any type of pallet chips or anything back there. And then we'll head down to Indianapolis to pick up a load, going down to Cincinnati, doing some little local stuff before my LTL weekend. Make a little extra money. So that's what we gonna do. Let's go, y'all. One thing that I do every morning before I pick up a load is I run a pre-trip on my unit. Still a brand new unit. Start pre-trip. I don't know if y'all can see that. I doubt it. We'll start pre-trip and it'll start going through the pre-trip phase.
paid for?
Yes, sir.
Damn. Nice truck you got there.
Appreciate it, brother.